There's a huge stereotype of Swedes being extremely introverted. I've read a lot that it is hard to befriend them.
The stereotype exists because we heard about it from many other peoples, but I agree with it because I actually experienced it, and it is indeed so hard to make fun to make friends with Swedish people. Even for Swedish, it's hard because like you basically make friends and like make kind of your inner circle since you are in school. And then the moment that you, for example, that you're an adult and you want to, for example, move to Stockholm for jobs, it becomes so hard because you start in the like kind of in new territory and not having your like inner circle with you.
Ouch. Is that true? Let me see it for myself. So I started a quest of making new friends in Sweden by trying all sorts of ways. In between workshops and productions, expats hangouts, even dating apps.
We met on Tinder.
We met online on Hinge.
They're actually not only for dating, FYI. The first meetings and hangouts were always really nice. However, for some reason, they rarely led to any second ones. Was it my fault?
Stereotype is Swedes are kind of reserved, um, and that we don't generally we're not generally very open in say at the store or like out in the streets. It's kind of a small country and you sort of know who everyone is, and that means you're sort of a bit suspicious towards strangers maybe.
Swedish people are very bad at reaching out. And I think that's why we're perceived as introverted a lot of the time. Because we're bad at making plans and we're bad at reaching out and we're bad at being the one that takes the first step. But once you do get to know us, we're very social and nice and cool.
Swedish people in general are very antisocial and we kind of like to keep to ourselves, but it also creates this weird dynamic where we feel very lonely, but at the same time we like the loneliness, but we complain about it. So it's like it's an evil circle of just loneliness. And I think it's even harder for someone traveling to a new city or a new country trying to make friends here because everyone kind of has to click.
Or was it because of the weather?
There's a big difference between like summer and winter. Um, that we're sort of kind of closed when it's cold and dark outside. Then you're like, you go to work and then you just want to go home and like lie under a blanket and have a warm cup of tea and watch TV and like only be with your friends and people you know. And then as the sun sort of comes out, people start interacting in the street and like become more friendly and open, because you can actually like stand outside without freezing your butt off.
It's so damn cold and it's so damn dark. So you don't get any sunlight. So of course you're gonna, and you don't have a, and all your, energy is going to keeping your body warm. So you're always tired and you're always cold. So of course you're gonna need more time by yourself because you don't have a lot of energy to spend on other people. You're just trying to survive and you just kind of feel like shit all the time. So you're kind of like, one version of yourself in the winter, usually a worse version of yourself in the winter. And then in the summer, you feel more like yourself and you more kind of have more energy and you can be more outgoing.
Fair enough, I guess. I should probably try accepting and liking my loneliness like the Swedes. In Sweden.
Welcome back to Lynn doing something shit. Very late in the evening, almost midnight. Just because I want to.
Nah, I couldn't take it anymore. I was extremely bored. Everything is sickeningly boring. Let's get out of here. But what should I do then?
Do what you love, you know? Do something that you enjoy.
So I flew I ran, I walked, I trudged from a corner of one Nordic country to another. I saw, I listened, I observed. Maybe this eventually was not that bad. It was tiring, exhausting, stressful, yet the reward was great.
Always try and make the first move. I think that people in general tend to be a little bit anxious or shy. Obviously, everyone has that. And they don't want to be the first person to initiate a conversation or talk to people. Whereas if you can just gather the courage to do that like first tiny bit yourself just to open up a conversation, then it's so much easier to meet people who are locals, to meet other travelers and have like a really rich experience by meeting a lot of interesting people. All it takes is that first like line or that first thing you say, and then it just opens up the door to meeting someone new. And that's one of my favorite
Different
things when it comes
trips,
to travel.
locals and travelers, hopping from hostels to hostels, even unexpected encounters have led me to paths I never guessed I would take. Maybe I should thank Sweden for making me appreciate alone time more, for showing me that being alone and feeling a tad bit lonely is totally okay and normal.
And if you can't handle being with yourself alone, you're not going to be a good person with other people. You kind of need to find safety in, you need to find safety in yourself before you can find safety in others, in my personal
To
opinion.
process emotions and thoughts alone while walking, traveling, or simply sitting in a cafe with a cup of decaffeinated coffee is indeed incredibly fun.
I think it's just we get so caught up in our heads all the time. Sometimes you just gotta enjoy life by yourself. I feel like we base ourselves as people on what others perceive us as. And I don't think that's a societal thing and it's very normal for people to do. But I also think that we should normalize having our own perception of ourselves and not just basing our perception of ourselves on what other people think of us. You know that you're a good person because you know yourself. To have another person tell you that you're good, for you to know that you're good. And I think you can learn that by being alone with yourself.
The hellos and the goodbyes during this lone journey weren't the moments I could have ever imagined, yet they were still very lovely. Perhaps living the cliche of introversion is finally not that terrible.